Well, we're fresh off the Orlando regionals, and we're going to be talking about another rogue deck here on the channel. We're going to talk about Feraligatr. Now, if you're a Gen 2 fan like I am, you know Totodile evolves into Feraligatr eventually as a Stage 2 Pokemon. Now, Stage 2 Pokemon have been getting better and better as we go on in the Pokemon trading card game with these new sets releasing, and this is one of the cards that we haven't really talked about, but it has a huge damage output, and we can even capitalize that with other cards in this list. We're going to be breaking down the full 60 card deck with you today on this video, as well as show you some gameplay on how it works and maybe how you compare this against some other really relevant meta decks. Before we do that, let's hop over down in the description below. You can check out all the sponsors of the Shuffle Squad. Go there, say hi, let them know that we sent you there, and you can also check out some really cool affiliate codes that can save you money on not only learning about the game a little bit more, but also getting Pokemon product. That's all for now for the sponsors, but we're going to hop over and talk about this 60 card deck, so come on with me. Alright, here it is, the full 60 card deck that we're going to be playing in this video today. We do see that there is a 4-4-3 line of Feraligatr. Now, normally in these Stage 2 decks that we've seen relevant in the meta, we do have a more Rare Candy based deck where we're going to go and skip the Stage 1 evolution of the Pokemon and go straight to the Stage 2. Now, we're not doing that here, but we do want to talk about Feraligatr itself. Now, we do have 3 copies here. Feraligatr having 180 hit points is really good, and it does have the new Torrential Heart ability on this one. Now, Torrential Heart states that once during your turn you may put 5 damage counters on your Feraligatr, and if you do, you get to do 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, which means that Giant Wave here as the main attack for 2 water energies is going to do a base 160 damage, and then you're going to pop on another 120, equaling 280 damage. Now, most V-Star Pokemon are 280 damage, or 280 hit points rather, and you can knock it out with 1 hit, which is really good against things like Arceus decks or Giratina, anything like that you're going to see these lower hit point Pokemon. Now, Giant Wave does have the downside where during the next turn, Feraligatr can't use Giant Wave. However, we do have the Relicanth in here, and Relicanth is good because you can use some of the lower evolution Pokemon attacks as its main attack here. So if we look at the Croconaw, we have the Reverse Thrust, which is 30 damage for 1 water energy, and then you get to use a hit and run style attack, which is really good. You get to go back onto the bench, and even Totodile has an attack for Big Bite, does 10 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon cannot retreat during the next turn, which is good, so you could set up a Feraligatr attack, your opponent can't retreat. So it's things to keep in mind when you are playing this deck, that you can get the Relicanth out and use other attacks of the lower stage evolutions. Now, we do have some draw engine here. We've got the 2-2 Bibarel line, and hopefully by now playing in standard format, you know what Bibarel does. We've got the Industrious Incisors, and then we do have the Carefree Counterance, the Bidoof here that cannot be attacked on the bench, which is really good in a lot of situations, especially with Radiant Greninja. And then we have the Skwovet to keep your deck active and keep all the cards back in the deck. You get to use the Nest Stash ability here to put all the cards in your hand down at the bottom of the deck, and then you could use Bibarels, Industrious Incisors. You know the deal. You've done it a million times. We're not going to spend too much time on there. And then we have 1 Manaphy to also help protect the bench, because our Feraligatrs are going to go lower and lower in hit points the more we use the ability, and we don't want them to get knocked out by something like a snipe attack from Radiant Greninja. So it's something to keep in mind. We do have the Manaphy, and also our lower evolutions are pretty low in hit points. I know Jirachi could be an easy swap for Manaphy in this list, but it's something to consider going forward. Now, spending a little bit of time on the supporter cards, we do have 4 Arven. Arven's going to be our main supporter in this deck because we do play 3 tool cards. The primary one is going to be the TM Evolution, so we can start evolving our Pokemon as the Croconaw, and then we can go into Feraligatr the following turn, or maybe even evolve our Bidoof into a Bibarel. So we definitely want to see those. And there's a lot of item cards in here we'll get into later on talking about this list. We do have 2 of the Ciphermaniacs Codebreaking. Now, I like to call it CC if you don't like to pronounce the entire name. It is a big, long name, but you still get to put 2 cards from your deck on the top, and then you could use Bibarel to get those cards here. So it's pretty good in certain situations where you need specific cards. We do have 2 Ionos for a little bit of disruption, and then we have 1 Boss's Orders. Now, I know that 1 Boss's Orders seems a little weird, but we do have 2 counter catchers, and chances are, since we're a single prize deck, we are going to be going behind in prize cards a little bit. So the 1 Boss's Orders to help us out if we're even on prize cards or maybe above in the prize card race is going to be really good here. I did add in a Roseanne's backup because we are going to play a couple of special energies that we might want back, but we also get to recover things like Pokemon. We can recover a stadium card if we want to add more things in here, and we get to recover tool cards, which is pretty good here. We could utilize Arven and then use things like Ultra Ball later on. Now, we do have some Pokemon search here. We already talked about the 4 Ultra Ball, but we have 4 Buddy Poffin. All of our basic Pokemon here are going to be sub the 70 hit points, so we want to make sure that we can find those basic Pokemon, everything 70 hit points or less, and it really works out in our favor. And then we have 3 Rare Candy. Now, one of these Rare Candies can be cut because we are playing a really thick evolution line, but there are a lot of times where you want to evolve straight from the Totodile into the Feraligatr. So if you're looking for an open spot, maybe trying the 3rd Rare Candy slot is where you're going to want to add another card. Already talked about the counter catcher. We do have 2 of the super rods here to get our Pokemon back in. We definitely want to use that over and over again to get our Feraligatrs chaining. And we have 1 of the Earthen Vessel to start finding some energy. We have 1 of the Energy Search, just in case we don't want to discard anything in our hand. Maybe we just need 1 more energy. It's really good. And that also pairs well, you know, Super Rod's going to put in some basic energy again. We want to get the Energy Search. This can also be a swap if you find that you're not really missing out on energy. One of these, either the Earthen Vessel or the Energy Search, can be cut. We do have 1 Nest Ball. You could opt to go to 2 Nest Ball on a list like this. I definitely like the 1 Nest Ball so far. It hasn't really hurt me at all, so we do only have the 1. We have 1 of the Lost Vacuum because sometimes there's a Pokemon tool on your opponent's Pokemon, like the Hero's Cape, to raise up that HP. We definitely don't want to see those. So getting rid of something like that, or maybe even a stadium that's a little bit annoying. Maybe your opponent has Temple of Sinnoh to shut off your special energy cards. We don't want that in play either, so we do want that Lost Vacuum in here. I do have 1 of the Hisuian Heavy Ball, and this is really if we need 1 of those extra pieces. Maybe we need that Manaphy, maybe we need the Relicanth in the matchup that we're playing against. So I like the Hisuian Heavy Ball. That's really good. 2 TM Evos, and then 1 TM Crisis Punch. So if we're going down, again, we're a single prize deck. There's no 2 prize Pokemon here. There's nothing to give away extra prizes to your opponent unless they're playing Turbo Hands, unfortunately. But we do have the TM Crisis Punch that can swing for 280 as long as your opponent has just 1 prize card left. So that's really good in a pinch, and we don't have to put any damage counters on our Pokemon, and we could still just swing. Generally, we should have at least 3 energy cards on our Pokemon to use that attack. So it's really good situationally at the end of the game. To get us more Pokemon, we do have the 2 Artazon. We want to get a good setup going into the first turn, so we want to make sure that we find things. Again, we have a lot of ball search. We do have a lot of other ways to find our Pokemon evolution. Now we need to find the basic Pokemon, so we do have the 2 Artazon. We only have 3 water energy, 3 basic water energies in here. There's not too much in the format that shuts off special energy, so I like the 3, and we have the Super Rod to recover those to get them back later on, so we can always do that. Now we do have the 3 reversal energies. Again, I think that this deck is going to go behind in prizes a lot just to capitalize on that bigger damage output, so 3 reversals are really good. And then in A-Spec, you don't really see too much is the Neo Upper Energy. So Neo Upper Energy can attach to that stage 2 Pokemon and provide 2 of any color or any type of energy. Really good here with Feraligatr because it does need the 2 water energy to use the attack. So awesome ace spec in this list for sure. Now, if you did like the list here or want to make any changes, suggestions, definitely let us know down in the comments. We love answering and seeing what your thoughts are on this list, and we're going to take it out on the ladder and see how it does. Okay, so we're hitting the ladder. Let's take a stroll here together. We're going to flip heads, and apparently we don't win the flip. So we're going to go ahead and just live by the choice that we've made and see how fun Feraligatr actually is. I'm really down for playing some fun decks here. It looks like we don't get any basic Pokemon, but we do give away the secret of what type of deck we're playing, which is a little unfortunate. Our opponent hopefully has a mulligan too, which would be kind of cool. We're gonna get everything set up that we need with next hand. Fingers crossed. We're gonna see if we can get some basic Pokemon out of here. Wait on our opponent a little bit. They do have a basic Pokemon, so it's unfortunate they get an extra card, but you know what? Let's positive thoughts here. Positive thoughts. We do get the Totodile. And we have a ton of setup, actually. So I think that we're going to be good with the Nest Ball, the Buddy Poffin. Alright. Alright. Banette and Bronzor. That's something you don't see every day. Okay. Alright, they're setting up something funny. Okay. We got the Ralts, Shuppets, all kinds of crazy things. Maybe this is the Bronzong deck? I'm not exactly sure, but we've got enough stuff to go ahead here and start getting crazy. We can even start to Nest Ball some stuff. Just get Skwovet so we can start to refresh our hand. We can go in Arven. I feel like we're not going to need the... Okay, so we don't have an Energy Search, and we have the TM Evo. So we don't have to discard anything, which is good. And we'll just get this one. Go here. TM Evo. I want to save the Feraligatr in hand, so maybe we could go in and just evolve next turn. So we'll pick these two. We'll get the Bibarel, and then we'll get the Croconaw, and we'll evolve that and get ready to rock and roll for next turn. Here we go. Let's see. There's the Banette. So now we can't use any item cards, which isn't the worst thing, but we definitely want to make sure that this Totodile gets knocked out so we don't have to deal with this Banette right away. If we had Boss's Orders, it would be good. We almost want the Totodile to get knocked out here. Alright, this is going to be the first time I actually see this card in action, so it's going to be a wild ride for all of us. Evolution Jammer. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their Pokemon. That could be super annoying here, actually. Alright, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So we could just Big Bite them for forever and hope. And we could just hope. Alright, so we got Reversal Energy. Okay, so they're hitting us for 30. I want to go Reversal Energy. Then we'll... Actually, we should think this out. Buddy-Buddy Poffin first. Right? We want to get... We have no more Totodiles in deck. Both of our Totodiles are here. The other two are in the prize cards. So I guess we can get at least another Bidoof. Still totally fine. And we can even go like so. Do this. And TM Evo. Oh, you know what? We don't need that just yet, right? Let's go Heavy Ball. Because we know one is in there. And then we'll Nest Dash. We'll Industrious Incisors, so now we can get at least a third Totodile out on the field. And we draw a counter catcher, which is really good here. So let's just get Totodile for a follow-up. And then we can go Evolution to just avoid that attack. I think the Bidoof would be pretty good. Bibarel. And we can go Feraligatr. They do knock this thing out some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but if they do, just let them. Alright, so no more evolutions. They're going to start drawing more cards because Refinement is a good ability, right? I want to make sure that Refinement can draw them enough cards so they can find some energy to put on Banette. It's a little scary, this deck. There's a Guardy. Now, there's no energy in their discard pile, so their Guardy EX isn't doing much. Double Banette is a little funny. And if they do get 2 energy and we have a ton of items in our hand, then our Feraligatrs are going to start going down. We definitely don't want that to happen. And here's a Prime Catcher. Interesting. Not sure what they're going to do with that with no energy. There's a Turo. Okay. So just putting 1 energy on this to lock up my item cards. I can't use any sort of items, which are fine because I could just Skwovet it, and they're never going to be able to use Poltergeist unless they Iono me. And I think that, you know what sucks is that the reversal energy isn't working. Well, that's a thing. Can happen. Could go here. Yes, just put all these things at the bottom of the deck with Skwovet. Let's just go Nest Dash. Okay, now we can evolve, at least. I guess we could have Industrious Incisors first. This is fine. I don't want to use the ability. And we have 4 trainers in hand, so that means we might get knocked out here. So if we get knocked out, Ciphermaniac can actually help us. We can just go Rare Candy Feraligatr Knockout for 2 prizes. They're getting rid of the Bronzong. They see that it's not really going to help them. Here's an Ultra Ball. Are they going to put... Okay, so they do put energy in the discard pile. Good for them. And that way they can actually use the Poltergeist attack. So Poltergeist is going to do 240 damage if they utilize that instead of an item lock. I almost wish I had my own Turo, and then I could go Turo Neo Upper Energy. Actually is really good here. So let's just do that. Let's attach Neo Upper Energy. Let's go Ciphermaniac. And we will go Feraligatr, and then we can go we can go Water Energy. Let's Nest Dash so they can't poltergeist us into anything. We can just evolve here. We aren't going to use Industrious Incisors this turn. Let's go Torrential Heart. And then we'll just swing for 280 and just knock out that Banette. Start taking surprise cards. Deck feels pretty good. There's a lot of different routes that you have to take and you have to think of based on the energy. It's not like a regular old stage 2 beat stick deck where you're just hitting. You actually have to think, what's getting knocked out? What energy can I actually use here? How am I going to set up my follow-up turn? So that's a bunch of routes in my mind that I'm thinking of. So if you're going to play a deck like this, it's a little bit more thought-provoking than just a standard, single prize. I'm going to put my basic Pokemon in the active, get energy on it, and attack you. Or build up my discard pile like a self-milled style deck. So Giant Wave can put in some work, and unfortunately we don't have the Relicanth here. So we can't do any of the secondary attacks. We can't even knock ourselves out yet. But we can retreat. So we can retreat. Can do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to retreat, get rid of 2 energies, put this Feraligatr active, and then let's just Nest Dash our life away here. I think we could have Industrious Incisors first, but you know what? We're living on the edge here. Okay, this is fine. Can't attach that yet. I'm gonna go ahead and Torrential Heart. And we could knock out the other Feraligatr. I thought it was 30 for some reason in my mind, but it's definitely 50, so we can knock ourselves out. We don't want to do that yet. Taking 2 prizes at a time feels really good here. Alright, and there we go. Got the Arven. We got the Rare Candy Feraligatr. So really, to win this game, we have to take 2 single prize knockouts, which is going to be a little tough because we have to wait a turn. Alright, there's a Turo going down, so they can't Turo anything up. They can hit us for 190, which is slightly annoying. Okay, so let's take a look at our energy cards now. We're down a reversal, we're down a Neo Upper. So what we might have to do is just put Totodile active. Keep swinging into it. And we can get Super Rod. And that's exactly what I think that we could do. Let's go like this. Let's go here. Let's get our Relicanth out with Artazon. So now we have a bigger HP Pokemon, which they can still swing into. They can swing 190, but now they won't be able to retreat. And at least what I can do is get the Rod back, and Rod will be cool. Go 1, 2, 3. Go like that. Put that back into the deck. We don't need to get the Crisis Punch just yet. I think we should Nest Dash first. We can always get this with Arven too, right? Alright, there's this, and let's use our second Industrious Incisors. Okay, all of that is pretty good. Let's just go ahead. We can do 5 damage counters on this Pokemon, and then attacks used by it. Even though it's going to get knocked out, right? We can do 130 damage and prevent them from retreating with Big Bite. So now if we're able to get this thing with maybe a boss's orders and the reversal energy, it could be really good for us. So we don't want both of our Feraligatrs to go down. And they cannot retreat, so they're going to have to swing for the 190, which is totally fine. I think they kind of see the writing on the wall here, that if they are going to get attacked this turn, it's not going to be great. So here's what we do. We're going to go and get rid of Vacuum. Let's just get rid of Vacuum and Artazon. We want to thin our hand and thin our deck, right? Definitely need something. So I don't want Manaphy anymore. Let's take a look at all the rest of our cards. We need the Rod here to get something back. Reversal and TM Crisis Punch is going to be good at the end of the game, but we don't need it just yet. I don't think we're going to need Counter Catcher right away, so get rid of that. And we don't need any of these Pokemon yet. Let's use Industrious Incisors first. Okay. We can now put our Totodile, our Neo Upper Energy back in. We can put a Stadium back in. And I don't want to put a Tool card back in, but we could. I can now get Artazon. And that gets the Totodile here. We'll go ahead and Nest Dash away all of the other things here. And there's a Feraligatr, so that's good. And then if we draw into a Rare Candy, an Energy, anything like that, that's pretty good. I can't put anything here yet, but can go in Reverse Thrust. That's another thing that we could do. So we could Reverse Thrust, or we could Big Bite. Reverse Thrust or Big Bite here. So they could retreat. So let's just go Big Bite. I mean, because after this, we could just throw Buddy Poffin twice. They can't retreat. Can't use Crisis Punch yet. But if we get Neo Upper Energy, then we're pretty good. Alright, they're moving damage counters. Not sure what they're going to accomplish with moving damage counters. But unless they find a Turo, they are not going to be able to pick this Guardy EX up. So that could be the scary part. Having the Turo as a potential option for them, where they're just going to pick the Guardy EX up, is pretty bad. But if we can draw into something like, say, a Rare Candy and our Neo Upper Energy, then we have won the game. So that's really what our game plan here is, just to thin into something like that. Oh, that Iono would be scary too. Would be a little scary. Okay, so there's the Ralts. Looks like they're not really drawn into too much. They already used their one refinement. So not sure where they're going yet with this, but I'm interested to see, because I like decks like this. I really like the Guardy decks. I like Banette. I think the deck is super interesting. So, all right, Painful Spoons is going to move some damage somewhere. And it looks like it's just going on the poor Skwovet. So nothing to see here. So there we go. They're going to take another knockout. And let's just put our Totodile active and hope that we can draw into all the pieces that we need to win the game this turn. If not, maybe we can try. All right, there's a Reversal Energy. So we're not behind on prize cards yet. Alright, we're not going to find anything here. We're going to thin with Buddy Poffin. We can go ahead. I don't want to attach Reversal Energy. We could attach TM Crisis Punch. And I think that that's exactly what I'm going to do, just to draw that one extra card. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's Industrious Incisors. Okay. This is fine. Let's get back 2 Totodiles and a Feraligatr, just because. And then I can go Artazon, get this back. Now I don't want a Nest Stash here because this hand is really, really good. But let's just try to Industrious Incisors for 1. Okay, so we do get Candy. Could just get Candy. That's fine. We have a 15 card deck. We've got tons of options. Honestly, I don't like where this is. But I suppose we can retreat. And then we can just go into this thing. Go here. Evolve. Let's just go in here. And we can't use anything yet. So we're going to have to just like hold this hand. If they knock us out, that's fine. I just need the Neo Upper. I think Neo Upper wins us the game as long as they don't retreat. The retreating is bad. We're going to have to play into the counter catcher and or a boss play. If we draw boss, they don't get to pick up this Guardy. Okay, counter catcher. Interesting. Okay. They are going to knock out our Croconaw. I say Kronk, but it's Croc. Okay. Get Iono to 2. So we still need that Candy. Okay, boss. So we need Candy, Neo. Let's see if we can do it here. Get another Totodile out. Alright, let's try this. So we can also Iono. Alright, so I think first step is let's Artazon. Get our other Totodile out. Because if they take one more knockout, then all of our things are active. So that's pretty good. So let's go... Let's Industrious Incisors. Okay. Could throw the Heavy Ball. Don't need that yet. Don't need the Vessel. Let's just go for it. Let's swing for the fences here. Let's Iono to 2. That's not what we wanted to see. Let's Nest Dash. Neo Upper Energy wins us the game this turn. And look at that, Neo Upper Energy. There we go. We got there. We're just going to draw 5 more cards just because this deck is wild. Holy moly. So let's go ahead and just Torrential Heart for maximum damage output. We'll hit the Giant Wave attack and we will just win the game here, taking our last 2 prize knockout. Wow, that was semi-stressful, but definitely rewarding for sure. This Feraligatr deck is the real deal. And there you saw Feraligatr in its prime, taking down that Gardevoir Banette deck. I really enjoy this deck, and I think that it does have some really great matchups in the meta. I think that the Charizard decks out there are going to struggle, even though they have 330 hit points. I think because you're taking knockouts repeatedly, that this deck is going to stand a chance with the reversal energies and things like that. And also, as you saw, there was so many options for drawing in this deck. I want you to try it out on the ladder. What you can do is you could take the list out of the description here below in this video, and you can copy and paste it into PTCG Live. You can even, if you have the cards, take it to your local league and play the deck, and then go back to this video, watch it again, and comment on what you thought about it and how you like the playability of a deck like this that is a single prize deck again. It feels like we're in 2019 all over again, or 2017, where we have single prize decks that are good in the meta. Maybe you don't see them too much in these bigger major events, but it could be a really, really fun deck to start playing Pokemon with. So if you did like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want more awesome content like this, and definitely comment and share this video with your friends. so we can help out more people learn to love the game of Pokemon and TCG. That's all from me here, PJ. I am going to sign off on the Shuffle Squad channel. We will catch you next time.
Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.